If you have $1 billion, what would you buy? Private jets, holiday homes, supercars, all of the above, perhaps? The indulgences would be endless, possibly literally, with that kind of wealth. But not everyone who is super rich lives a luxurious life, despite their bank balances being higher than the GDP of some countries. Here are top 10 billionaires who lives like a normal person. First on the list, at number 10, is Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, who has a net worth of $1.9 billion. This billionaire was paid handsomely as CEO of Apple. Even so, he chooses to live a modest lifestyle. He lives in a modest 2,400 square foot condo in Palo Alto, which he bought for $1.9 million in 2010. He quoted, "I like to be reminded of where I came from, and putting myself in modest surroundings helps me do that. Money is not a motivator for me." Number 9 at the list is Chuck Feeny, co-founder of Duty Free Shoppers Group, who has net worth currently $2 million, but given away billions of dollars. The co-founder of Duty Free Shoppers has donated more than $4 billion to disadvantaged children and public health initiatives, all while going to great lengths to remain an anonymous donor. He has a strict personal motto: "I set out to work hard, not get rich." According to his biographer, former Irish Times journalist Conor O'Clery, he has no ego. He always chooses the second cheapest wine from the wine list. He also added, "When we traveled together, he was always dressed like a down-at-heel American tourist." Number 8 at the list is David Chariton, Stanford professor who has an estimated net worth of $10.7 billion, which he generated from Google shares. He hates the idea of living like a billionaire. He quoted, "I'm actually quite offended by that sort of thing," he told the Edmonton Journal in an interview. He also quoted, "These people who build houses with 13 bathrooms and so on, there's something wrong with them." Chariton called himself spoiled for taking a windsurfing vacation in Hawaii, and still loved to ride on his 2012 Honda Odyssey. Azim Premji, chairman of Wipro Limited, who has a net worth of $12.2 billion, sits at number 7. As the owner of the technology service giant Wipro, he is one of the richest men in India. Regardless, he is said to monitor the number of toilet paper rolls used in Wipro facilities and demands that employees switch off the lights when leaving their offices. Premji often takes a 3-wheel auto rickshaw from the Bangalore airport when returning from business trips, and still drives his 1996 Ford. Ingvar Kamprad, founder of IKEA, who has a net worth of $42.5 billion, is number 6 on the list. He drove a 15-year-old Volvo and always flew economy class. His frugal ways extend to his home in Switzerland, which is reportedly decorated mostly with inexpensive IKEA furniture, as well as a few family heirlooms. According to the Daily Mail, Kamprad and his wife are often seen eating in cheap restaurants and haggling over prices at the market. Halfway down the list, at number 5, is Jim Walton, Walmart heir and chairman of Arvest Bank, who has a net worth of $65.3 billion. Walton may belong to one of the wealthiest families in the world, but he has followed in the frugal footsteps of his father, Walmart founder Sam Walton. The youngest and most private of the Walton siblings, Jim, still resides in Bentonville, Ark, where he runs the family's personal wealth management company, and works at his office on a plain old brick building in downtown Bentonville. In 2007, it was reported that Walton drove a 15-year-old Dodge Dakota. Amancio Ortega, founder of Zara, who has a net worth of $87.6 billion, sits at number 4. His net worth rose every year. Even so, he hasn't let the success go to his head. Ortega and his wife live in a discreet apartment building in La Corrua, Spain. He's a simple dresser, wearing a uniform of blue blazer, white shirt and gray pants every day. He goes to the same coffee shop every day and eats lunch with his employees in the Zara cafeteria. And Ortega drives an Audi A8, not some fancy supercar. One major indulgence: Ortega owns the Global Express BD700. a private jet designed by Bombardier that carries price tag of $45 million. Perhaps the most famous on the lists is Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, who has a net worth of $97 billion, sits at number 3. As the mastermind behind Facebook, Zuckerberg is a billionaire many times over. But the 28-year-old leads a surprisingly low-key lifestyle. He recently upgraded to a $7 million house in Palo Alto, but the Los Angeles Times called the home still well below his means. Zuckerberg reportedly drives an Acura because it's safe and not ostentatious, and famously wears the same gray t-shirt and hoodie to work every day. His wedding to longtime girlfriend Priscilla Chan took place in his backyard, and the pair was seen digging in at a McDonald's on their Italian honeymoon. Number 2 on the list is Carlos Slim Helu, chairman and CEO of Telmex, who has a net worth of $102.1 billion. Slim may be very wealthy, but that doesn't mean he's an extravagant spender. The self-made billionaire lives in the same modest 6-bedroom house he has owned for the past 30 years, and still drives himself to work. As far as we can tell, he does not own a yacht or a private plane, which of course he can easily afford if he wanted to. Topping the lists is none other than Warren Buffett, chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, who has a net worth of $116.9 billion. Buffett still lives in the Omaha, Nebraska home he bought for $31,500 more than 50 years ago. He doesn't own a yacht because, as he puts it, most toys are just a pain in the neck. When he married his second wife, rather than a lavish affair, it was a brief afternoon wedding at his daughter's house in Omaha. He has also given billions of dollars to charitable causes, and begged Washington to increase his taxes. There you have it, guys. What do you think of my lists? Please leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel for more videos.